Today, I want to show you Gemini Notebook's new collections feature that allows you to organize your notebooks. So to get started, the website is still under the old product name, so it's notebooklm.google.com. And then you'll have to log in if you're not logged in with a Google account somewhere else, and you get to this screen. And if you're not familiar with the product, we have a ton of videos on NotebookLM/Gemini Notebook, but the really quick overview is that notebooks are basically containers. Within those containers, you can add sources and then either chat with those sources or you can make artifacts from them. Again, there are a ton of different things and different combinations and solutions, but we have a bunch of videos about that. This video is about their new collections feature. And one of the more requested things over the years this product has existed has been a way to organize your notebooks. When you use a product for a while, you'll end up having, dozens or in some cases hundreds of notebooks. And the way it works is when you open a notebook, so let me just open this one here and I do something in here and now I'm done. That notebook now goes to the top of the recent notebooks list. And you can imagine if you have, hundreds of notebooks in here and then you open a bunch of them each day, you don't really have a lot of control on, I want to see this one first, because you're always going to see whichever one is the most recent. So what collections do is it gives you a container. They're kind of like folders, but they're a little different. So let me start from zero here. So if I click over to the collections, I guess we'll call this a tab, and then I can create a collection and then I can call it whatever I want. So we'll just call this test. And then I can search through my notebooks here and then decide which ones I want to put in. So I'll put in demo notebook and I'll put in the source report test. Doesn't matter which ones, I'm just putting in two for demonstration. Then I create, and now I have a test collection. And there are a couple of options here. I can edit, which just brings me back to the screen that I was just on. So I can add more notebooks or I can take one out if I wanted to. And I can delete the collection, which just gets rid of the collection, obviously. And then I can add an emoji, which basically takes this character right here and changes it to something. And now once I have an emoji, I can click on it and then I can change it to something else. So if I wanted, I don't know, a tree stump. So now I have the stump collection. Slight side note, I think this is an improvement because the way that it worked before, so just going into a notebook here, if back in the early days of NotebookLM, to change that, you had to actually go into a notebook and then click on the emoji here and then change it. You couldn't do it from outside here, from the main screen. So this probably seems like a minor, possibly stupid thing, but it actually is an improvement over how it used to be, because again, once you have a ton of notebooks in here, it's like, yeah, you have the title, but sometimes the image is how you actually quickly see like I can look at this one and know like this is has my ribeye recipes. So I mean, this one, the emojis can actually be helpful to help you find whichever notebooks. Anyway, you can change that from out here. Those are the only options at the collection level. And then I can click and I can go into the collection and then it'll have whichever notebooks I put in here. And a couple of options in here. I can change the title, I can delete it. I can add it to a new collection. So if I wanted to take this notebook and duplicate it, duplicate collections, I can say, new test, and put the demo notebook in there. And now if I go back out, now I have two collections with the same notebook. And this is one thing to note with collections. You don't have to only have your notebook in one collection. So if you have a reason to have a single notebook in 2, 3, 5 collections, you're not limited to just this one can only be in one collection. And also, if you go back out to my notebooks, the notebook is still here. So this is the demo notebook that's in the collections. It's still here and it's in this collection and it's in that collection. So you can put the notebook in however many places you want. And it's the same notebook. It's just, it allows you more options to organize. And what else is in here? You can pin it to top. So if you have a lot of notebooks in here, you can keep some of them at the top, and then you can just remove it from the collection. There's an edit on the right. This is the same as editing the collection from one level up. That's really it for what you can actually change on the collections. A couple things to note. If you go back out, I already mentioned the notebook is still in the My Notebooks list here. If you go to the All tab here, the collections don't actually show up here. So again, it's not a huge deal. It's just something to note. It's just like if you are on a different account and you go to All, it'll show your My Notebooks and your featured notebooks and your shared notebooks. It doesn't show the collections, and I feel like they're going to change that, but I might be wrong in that. But just know that if you go to All, it doesn't actually show the collections. And then the other thing, again, I think this is minor, but depending on kind of your setup and your team members, as far as I can see, you cannot share collections. Again, they might change that in the future. I have no idea, but there's not a way that I can see in here to share collections. Again, there aren't that many options in here, but there's nothing to actually share it. So if that's something that you want to be able to do, you're going to have to find a different way to communicate with your team. Hey, let's make this collection and put these things in there. But there's not a way to share it from in here right now. But yeah, past that, I don't think there's anything else. It's a pretty straightforward feature, but again, if you have a lot of notebooks, you already know how big of a deal this is and how much this can help organize things. I will note that this is a pro account tied to Google Workspace. I can switch over to a Plus account and a free account just to show you that from what I can see, the collections feature is available in all of these accounts. And I assume it's available in Ultra. I don't have an Ultra account, but I would assume it's in the higher account if it's in all of the lower accounts. So this is a Plus account. You can see the little plus right here. And again, collections right here. Works the same way. Create a collection, name it, add something to it. And then it's here. You can go into it. Again, everything looks exactly the same. So collection is here in the Plus account. Get rid of that because I don't really need it. And this is what I was mentioning before. It's just like if on this Plus account, I have My Notebooks and then I have featured notebooks. And if I go to All, it actually shows featured and recent. It doesn't show the collections in that menu. Again, not a huge deal, just something to be aware of. And this is a free account. Again, we have featured notebooks, we have My Notebooks, and then I can add a collection. Same screen, same options. Add a collection, name it something, add something to it. And there it is. And then you can go into it. Same options, same everything. Again, free account. There's no Pro or Plus or Ultra here. There's just free account. So from what I can see, the feature is available on at least a free, Plus, and a Pro account. And again, my assumption is that it's available on Ultra accounts as well. But Gemini Notebook has added a way to organize your notebooks. It is called Collections. You just have a separate tab on your home screen here. You can add whichever notebooks you want. You can have, notebooks can be in more than one collection. They will stay in your My Notebooks area. From what I can see, you cannot share them. So yeah, that's it. Hopefully that was useful. Ask questions if you have them. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.